Hi, everyone. I am Hayley Peri, a founder and CEO of Dandi. And in case you didn't know, we are a conscious beauty firm really focused on sustainability education, ingredient highlights, community, and innovation. So we have a few people here. So thank you all for joining. I would love for you to pop into the chat box and tell us where you're logging in from. That just helps with the community. And I'm logging in from Torrance, California right now. Hey, Jennifer, Corona, Denver. Of course, Sarah's not here in California with me, but we used to live here in the same city. And from Dallas, Croton on Hudson. I've never been there, but thank you, Courtney. I love that we have people from all over the US on. So that's really great. And how many people were actually able to go to Cosmoprof? It was an interesting year. I know that Jennifer was there. I saw her, and we're actually going to be featuring her today. Akshay's on. Hello, Akshay. It's great to see you here. This is great. Well, it was a different show this year, a different kind of show. I've been going to Cosmoprof for 10 years now. And it's funny because even though there wasn't as many people, I felt like I had really great conversations with the people that were there, and I got to learn a lot more. So it was different, but there were sometimes, if you've ever been to Cosmoprof, you have to walk a really, really far way from your hotel until you get to the actual entrance, and you can see about like 50 people before you actually walk into the show. So it was nice that every day I made it in and was able to talk and discover some new things. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go over just a quick slideshow of different concepts that I saw at the show that I thought were interesting. Actually, we're going to hold off on the presentation for right now, but when I was going through the show and looking for things that I thought would be interesting for the community, I was looking for actual people in our community. And I was also looking for interesting ways that companies were implementing and operationalizing sustainability or sustainable practices. So I had some great conversations, and let me share my screen with you now. And feel free to pop in and ask questions at any time in the presentation. We are going to make this available to you after we do this, and I'll have just a quick reference sheet of some of the other companies that I might not have focused on for the Roundup, but they were definitely founders or companies that I had said hi to, and that I thought were super, super interesting. So let me figure out how to do this. Technically do this. I'm going to share my screen, share my PowerPoint. Okay, and the presentation mode is right here. Is everyone able to see that okay? Great. Chat, yep, awesome. So Cosmoprof was just a couple of weeks ago. It was at the end of August. It was hot. It's always hot there, and always super cold inside of the the convention center. And it's always wonderful to see lovely faces and people that you recognize, and you get to see the brands that you work with, and your colleagues, really. So one of the community members that I ran into was Angelica from Ethica Beauty. And if you don't know Angelica, she's so lovely. I see her all the time out here in the beauty industry West. We would see each other at those meetings when we were meeting in person. And so it was great to see her at the show. Ethica Beauty is a biotech hair care line. And so they have a really interesting story that it's adaptive hair care powered by a biotechnology. And so when you think about biotechnology, it's a different type of process in manufacturing, or being able to come up with different chemical compounds in manufacturing that uses more efficient resources. So that could be using less water, catalyzing a reaction through microorganisms like bacteria or enzymes. So it's great to see this story coming to life in a hair care brand, which I think is not something that we see so often. Oh, hi, Peter. Welcome. Peter's joining us from France. So we have people from all around the world. And you raised your hand. See, how do I see raising your hand? Sorry, I'm still new to all this technology stuff. Yes, so the next one, we had Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, you're here on the call with us. So I was super excited to see XJ Beauty, which is also KLB. And Jennifer, feel free to pop in again and share more about the company in the chat box. Jennifer is a very, very passionate person, and that was so evident talking to her at the show and being able to see some of her creations. And so she's a true product developer, very innovative, very creative. And one of the collections that she developed was a reef safe collection. And so we really see how this would fit into those UN Sustainable Development Goals, life below water. And if you were reading the emails or checking out our post over the past month in August, it was all about life below water and trends and ingredients that support that sustainability message. So it was great to see her already thinking about that and implementing that collection in XJ Beauty. So these are available for purchase. So reach out to Jennifer if you're interested in learning more about this Reef Safe collection and also the PFAS color cosmetic line. So she's had done the diligence and looking through all the documentation, knowing the right questions to ask to provide a solution in terms of looking at color cosmetics that have been vetted to not have PFAS. And so that's been a hot topic for the industry and in color cosmetics. So I love to see the innovators in our community. And Jennifer, thank you so much for letting me take pictures of you and sharing it here today with the community. So and Jennifer, y'all are located in Corona, right, in Corona, California. So I've actually been to the facility. It's a really large manufacturing company, and so they're able to do a lot and handle a lot of scale. Next, as we talk about ingredients, which is one of my favorite topics, I came across this amazing company called From Soil to Soul. And oh, Jennifer, she's with KLB Adonis Manufacturing, not XJ anymore. Okay, well, that's a recent change. Thanks for letting us know. You're still amazing and you still have great concepts. So I'm sure they will still be available at Adonis Manufacturing and not XJ. So Jennifer, can you make sure just to put your information in the chat box so people can reach out to you? And so back to From Soil to Soul. This is a community empowerment initiative looking at ingredients that are collected from communities in like in Africa and in different parts of the world. And so you can buy anything from like a 1 ounce all the way to drums of their ingredients. And so that could be different oils or butters, extracts, and it's a really great place in the market, because a lot of companies that might start out founders, brand founders, cosmetic chemists who start working in their kitchen, start playing around with product, they need access to ingredients, and they might not always have the visibility that it's coming from a sustainable source, or it has the ability to really have a positive impact on the community. So this is one of the things I really loved about this company. From Soil to Soul, it really met the needs of the crafters and companies at their beginning stages of just trying to understand what these ingredients can do in formulation. And then it can also scale with the company as they start to grow. So I would encourage y'all to check them out. And next we had, we have Piggy Paint. So Piggy Paint has been around for about 13 years. And if you have kids, I'm sure that you've seen this nail polish like at Target, Walmart, Target, Walmart, and other stores. But this is a non-toxic nail polish. And Melanie here is the founder. She is such a lovely person. She used to be a teacher, and she has children herself. And she showed me this plate right here, the styrofoam plate. And she said this is when she really had the idea and started to discover what was in the nail polishes. And she was painting her kids' nails, her children's nails when they were little. And I don't know if I can make that bigger. But you can see down here on the bottom, this is solvent-based polishes and how it was just really ate away at the styrofoam plate, versus her water-based Piggy Paint, which doesn't have the solvents and the harsh chemicals in them. So I loved her story because she was really focusing on children. And when we think about sustainability, when we think about chemical safety and the vulnerable populations that are exposed to the most adverse effects over time, it's really children is in that category. And so as much as we love to talk about clean beauty and chemical free and free from claims for skincare and hair care, the children are a very important group of people that we can think about in terms of the products that we're creating for them, and making sure that they're safe for where they are in their stage of life and the developmental effects. So it's one of the wonderful things that Melanie has shared with me. So they have the Piggy Paint line, and they've also come out with some hair care products, hair and body care products called Rock the Locks, which is so cute. And then she also has the Sophie nail polish, which is there are different colors for not for children. And so the way these work is if you put them on, and if you want them to set and be more resistant to wearing off, they're cured with a hair dryer. So you just blow dry your nails, and it helps the enamel to set. So my daughter Delphina, who's 4, was using the Piggy Paints, and she loves them. She even painted her Barbie doll's nails, or Elsa and Anna, whichever one, and my nails too. That it actually wore off, but they stayed on my fingernails for about 3 days, and that was not even really following the process. So if you're looking for a non-toxic nail polish, I would definitely say check out Sophie or Piggy Paint. They were really interesting and so fun And I love the founder story too. This next company I saw was Sway, and this is the founder, Rebecca So. This company was really interesting to me and super fun. Who doesn't want to have pretty tits? It's nothing I ever thought about before. I might have started looking at them after walking by their booth and thinking about it like, my tits might have some room for improvement. But one of the things that was so interesting about our line is that it's an actual regimen for the underarm area. And so that's detoxing. It's to help like removing impurities through a mask. There's a serum, and there's also a powder to help absorb and reduce sweat and odor. So this was very, very interesting, and really for the clean beauty segment. When you think about clean beauty and its relationship to people who are concerned about cancer or who are cancer survivors going through chemotherapy, her line really helps and supports the people who are going through cancer in that way. So doctors advise to remove toxic products from your daily life when you're going through chemo. And I know I can share this. Sarah Davenport, our COO of Dandi Day, she's a 2-time cancer survivor. And so these are some conversations that we have just on a personal level of the types of products that you're using every day and the chemical exposure that you might have every day. The deodorant category, the lymph node system, and breast cancer, those are all really common topics that are discussed together. So check out Sway. They were very interesting, and I think really from a clean beauty perspective, in that true kind of clean beauty pillar of looking at non-toxic ingredients. This is definitely a great example of how to think outside of the box in terms of solutions for a particular need. Next, we had this really, really sweet line from Lithuania. I saw a lot of companies from outside of the US in like the green beauty category or the and discover beauty. So again, thinking about children's products and having more options available to this very innocent and vulnerable population, it was wonderful to see these different types of oils, essential oils, to help in more of like a homeopathic sense. I don't know if anybody who's on goes to Lazy Acres or like Whole Foods, but you can see there are these little homeopathic vials that have different herbal extracts, and children or anybody can take them really. But this concept reminded me of that homeopathic concept, except it's in essential oil form. And along those lines, this brand, you and I, also have these beauty shots. And so these are shots that you can just take and you put inside your cream and to give them a boost. And then the third category that they had in their line was oral care. And what I thought was interesting about the oral care was that the toothpaste actually has, it was based off of creating different moods with your toothpaste. So you have like a stress-free, an aphrodisiac, and a few other selections there, but I had never seen this concept before. And so it really took this this oral care experience into more of a wellness. And so I would put this under good health and well-being, UN SDG goal number 3, And it was a pretty cool concept. So I know since we started the talk, we have more people that have joined. If you would like to put in the chat box where you're from, please feel free to do so. We have people from all over the US and across the world joining us today. So I'm happy to continue sharing some of my sustainable finds and highlights from Cosmoprof. Is there any questions so far? Any comments? No? Okay. Well, then moving on, we have Solidu Cosmetics. And I was actually surprised that I didn't see more companies like this. Maybe they're in development, but this one, of course, was really awesome in terms of it being a solid format. We are seeing a lot more solid formats come to the marketplace or being advertised and talked about. This is a shampoo, a solid shampoo and a solid conditioner. And actually this cute little box can be taken and it's compostable. So, or compostable, however you want to say it. And so they don't use any plastic, there's no water. So really reducing the water, that would also be affiliated or connected with the UN Sustainable Development Goal of life below water by not taking the water resources, responsible consumption and production, as well by there being no plastic. And overall, it's reducing the carbon footprint. So looking at climate change in terms of having this solid format right here. They did give me a sample, and my daughter and I, my older daughter, who's almost 13, she and I have been using this product, and I will say it foams a lot. I was a little suspicious, like, oh, maybe it's not going to foam. But when I used it in the shower, I was like, oh my gosh, it has like so much foam. So I would definitely suggest to check them out. And of course, everyone that was exhibiting here at Cosmoprof, they're looking for buyers. And so if you are a buyer, if you are connected to a buyer, please feel free to reach out to these companies and let them know that you saw them here on the Dandi Day highlights. But I think they did a really great job in terms of integrating different sustainable messaging in their product. And another great example is seed phytonutrients. So this line, I thought really put a lot of thought into where we are today in terms of packaging, what we can do really good now, and and the challenges. And so I was very impressed that this brand. Well, one of them was based out of Dallas, but it is a chemist founded brand. So you could just tell there was a lot of thought put into the creation of the brand and the products. So they did have, originally they had all of their products in a different type of container, and they've switched to aluminum because aluminum has a recycling infrastructure. Where there's a lot that's happened in plastics and not being able to recycle plastics that just make it so much more difficult for us to be able as an industry to recycle. I don't think this is anything new to anybody on this webinar. But I was really impressed that this brand, Sea Phytonutrients, they're not a very old brand, yet they were able to identify that after they launched a product, they were contributing to a problem, and they went through more product development to change their packaging to have a solution right now. And it might not have been the ideal solution, but it is realistic. And I think one of the things when I see when working with founders is they might want to have everything, check all the boxes, and sometimes it's not possible or realistic. And so I really admired the brand for how they made this executive decision to do what they could now and to move away from their packaging, their previous packaging, and move towards aluminum so they could recycle and take advantage of an infrastructure that's already in place. Oh, and so these, good question, Marisol. These products, they have some, oops, sorry, are powdered. So if you see, that's another great thing about them. They don't have water, so that it's a flip top and you just pour it out and it's powdered. Sorry, I got so caught up in the packaging, I forgot to talk about the formulation. But yes, the formulation is a powder, so they're reducing water and their carbon footprint in terms of having a lighter weight from the formulation aspect. So good question, thanks. Another question, okay. And then this brand, Mossami, which was in the Discover Beauty section, I had the best conversation with James. He's one of the co-founders of the brand. And just like Jennifer was like super passionate, James, I couldn't like get away from him because he was just in so deep with the story of his product, how it came to life, his experience, and he's put in over a decade of research and innovation into the creation of these products. And it's very rare to hear the level of detail that with the founder that he's put into this hair care line. So when you look right here, here's a seaweed that he uses, the Makabu seaweed. And they have a whole story behind it and how it's an ethical sourcing and partnership where he discovered the seaweed. His partner is Japanese, and he took James to this very special place in Japan where all of the oceans come together, and it creates this interesting current, and the Makabu seaweed is grown there. And so they actually partnered with the local fishery and the local community in that area to create a program of partnership with that community to really help their economy. And so this is a great example of the UN Sustainable Development Goals number 17, Partnership for the Goals, and also helping Indigenous people, because this seaweed and this group of people that have been doing this it's very rich in its history. And so they harvest the seaweed from there, and then they grind it down. And so over here is the powder where they've ground it down, and then that's what they use to put into their shampoo and conditioner. So typically, as many of you are in the industry and know this, like you work with an ingredient supplier, they pitch this great new life-changing ingredient, and you just buy it from your distributor or from your ingredient supplier, and then you put it in and they tell you all the story. I haven't really met a lot of people who have gone out to solve a problem and actually found the source, created a very holistic business plan around that to respect the communities that it comes from, and then put it into a product line, and having a product line to launch the market in mind to do that. So James' background, he was a stylist and a really like a production stylist and director for some really large hair care companies. And he was responsible for all of the photo shoots and making sure that the models, and these are like A-list celebrity type of models, that their hair was perfect and looked great. And he noticed that the biggest issue was the dryness of the hair. And I probably should have started this with a story at the beginning, but here it is at the end of it, at the end of talking about Mossami. But he noticed that the hair was always dry, and it was because of the light, and it didn't matter what hair texture it was, there was always this dryness. And so Makabu is all about hydration and delivering that hydration to the hair. And so that was the problem that he had observed during doing his work in photo shoots for many, many years for A-list celebrities and brands that are multi-million dollar brands that have been acquired by large multinationals. This journey has led to this creation of this brand. So James was really awesome, and I was so impressed with the dedication and work that he put into creating the partnership, really understanding the problem that he was trying to solve, and presenting something beautiful and sustainable like the Mossami line. And lastly, let's see, do I have another? Okay. So just in case, you weren't able to be at the show, I wanted to include these posters of little pop-ups. These are some other interesting brands that were, or other brands that were in these different categories, whether it was Discover Green, CBD Beauty, and the Beauty Vanities. So they have them in these different sections, so it makes it easier for you to be able to walk the show. So definitely the Discover Green is where I found a lot of these brands and where I enjoy living in terms of asking questions and understanding the stories behind creating eco-friendly, clean, organic or natural or sustainable products. But CBD is always a growing category. In the beauty vanities, this is brands that might only have 1 or 2 or 5 SKUs, and so they don't have like a huge range of product, but they could be like a really great solution for what you're looking for. Olika here in the beauty oils, or the beauty vanities. Oops, I don't know if you're able to see my pointer, but Olika, Olika. They were this like super cute hand sanitizer. I know maybe everybody's like hand sanitized out of their minds, but I still really liked it, and it looked like a little bird and it connected to your backpack. So theirs was really fun, and it had a great spray mechanism. So I was able to talk with them and learn about them. And Kusum Cosmetics, they were really interesting to me because the way that they talked about sustainability was different. I mean, of course, they have this cruelty-free, vegan, ethically sourced, recyclable, all of like the things that you would typically see on a green or clean beauty package. Oh, sorry. Oh, it didn't have the other. Sorry, I forgot the to include the other picture. But they had. Let's see if I can find it on my phone. They had this. Oh, I'm almost there. They had this sign. I don't know if y'all can see it here, but it says low carbon. When I looked at this sign, I was like, what do you mean by low carbon? And it's prepared with energy resources. So when I inquired a little bit more about that, the founder told me that they actually manufactured their products at different times of day that would require less energy. And I just thought that was really brilliant in terms of being conscious and thoughtful about what can we do, how can we improve our operations that are more sustainable. And it's the first time that I've really heard a company talk about the time of day that they manufacture. And here in California, we tend to have blackouts due to people using all the energy at different times of day. So it's recommended that, hey, don't use your washer and dryer or your dishwasher at certain times of day. Wait until it's cooler, or after 9 p.m. So I thought this was just a really interesting and very practical concept if you have the flexibility in your manufacturing to try and use less energy when you're producing your products, and being able to measure that and have that as part of the metric and communication back to the brand. So, okay, well, we'll have this in our community as Sarah's reminding us. And we'll have the video and the PDF. I'm going to have a more comprehensive list of just the companies that I liked and information where you can find them. And thank you all so much for joining. Would love to have any feedback. We have launched a new community app, and we would love to see you on there. So everyone, make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.